Here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Laugh or Cry, Chelsea edition. Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well, mate. I really do hope that. And Namaste, Hare Krishna, welcome back. Bienvenue, welcome back to Chelsea News. I imagine there'll be 3 videos on Chelsea today here on the channel. Of course, we've already done a video speaking about Chelsea's potential best young midfield in the world. If you are interested in learning about that, simply watch the previous upload to this one and enjoy yourself. But as is the nature of silly season and the transfer window, lots of stuff's popping off, and every time I get a new piece of information, data, I will upload and try and get out to you guys as quickly as possible. So if you appreciate that, please let me know by dropping a like on the video, and you are all welcome to subscribe. Everyone is welcome here, bro, man. So subscribe and hit the bell notifications icon. Alright, so there are transfer updates. Aubameyang, which is of course a high profile and necessary exit, who was on extraordinary wages at Chelsea, and Leeds looking and signing Ampadu, which is probably about right. What a talented young player though. Loads of caps for Wales. We'll read both those articles of information from The Athletic, which is important to learn. Nathan Gissing telling us, of course, the young reporter journalist who works with Demartio, how much we actually did bid on Caicedo, which is not that much actually. So there is a bid that has been rejected by Brighton. We'll learn about that. And of course, with the video going around with the Juve fans, let's start on that. Okay, so a bunch of Juventus fans have taken to protest at the medical centre. I'm assuming it's the Juve Medical Centre. Football Transfers quoted Tutto Mercato Web, which is of course the Italian publication that cited it from a fan, and then Football Transfers basically translated it saying this: the Juventus fans outside of the club's medical centre, all chanting, "We don't want Lukaku." So there's like a relatively big crowd of fans there. This is an organised protest. And there's I'm looking at it now, there's a few banners and stuff. I was thinking about including the video, but you can find it on social media. And they are chanting, "We don't want Lukaku." And yes, again, I'm always mindful to talk about, we are speaking of human beings here, and we need to respect that. But ultimately, Lukaku has checkmated himself into a really precarious position. This is on him, bro. He said, "I'd never play for Juve, only Inter." He sacked off Inter when the move was there for him. When he wanted the move, he kept banging on about it. And now, he's, essentially snaked them on, certainly that's what the surface information looks like. And Juve don't want him. He's like a rival striker who's already said derogatory stuff. Well, not derogatory stuff, but he'd never play for them and all that. And now he's gonna go there. They just don't want him. Do you know what I mean? And Luke, I don't know whether I watched it and had a bit of a chuckle. God, no one wants this guy. We don't want Lukaku. Chanting, protesting. And I was thinking, bloody hell, man. Do you know what I mean? But then I had a sort of serious moment. I was like, where are we going to sell this brother? Do you know what I mean? Nobody wants him. He's upset. Every fan base he's played for, except maybe West Brom, but I'm sure he probably said something along the way derogatory about them, about, I can't stay here, and, it's only a loan, and maybe the same about Everton, and United fans were fed up with him before the end. The only fan base I think Romelu Lukaku hasn't upset is the international Belgium fan base, of which he's, of course, the all-time top goal scorer. Even though in the World Cup, he did a lot to upset them in that instance when he came off the bench to save them, had loads of gilt-edged chances, and quite in stunning fashion, missed them all. So maybe he's upset them as well. So there you have it. Juve fans outside the medical centre protesting and chanting they don't want Lukaku. Maybe it's time to just really take a deep breath, look within Romelu, and chase the bag to Saudi Arabia, bro. We'll get 40 million quid cash. That's what we want. They'll pay all your wages and more. And it's a new fan base. in a different part of the world where people won't chant against you. In fact, you'd probably be hailed as a hero. And we know you like to feel good, so maybe go and do that, bro. All right, we'll keep it locked because we will, of course, follow the exhausting saga of Romelu Lukaku here on the channel until it is done and we can move forward and evolve and feel good and renew. Speaking of exhaustive sagas, Caicedo, like I said, Nathan Gisson, the young journalist who works with Demarzio, has good information, says this on his Twitter handle at Nath Gissing. Chelsea and Brighton remain in constant dialogue for Moises Caicedo. Understand, Chelsea last week had an offer rejected out of hand by Brighton. It was worth around 65 million. 5 million in bonuses. So I don't know if he's saying the 5 million in bonuses was the 5 and it was a 60 million up front, but no wonder Brighton waved that away. We were understanding, well, we were assuming it was going to be 85 million and we'll sort of take it. So maybe it was going to be like 80 million plus 5 million in bonuses, but the 80 million we want to pay in 4 installments. So for example, 4 20 million installments or a 30 million and then whatever, you know, the rest is in the next 3 installments. That's how Chelsea generally like to work with Mudryk, with you know, Enzo, recent high-profile transfers. Of course, this would represent a high-profile transfer. A lot of money would be spent should we get this transfer over the line. I saw people in the comments from this morning's upload expressing concern about this transfer. I think it will happen. I genuinely really do think it will happen. I feel like every party, including Brighton at this point, want it to happen. Of course, Brighton don't necessarily need it. I keep moving my camera. There you go, about there. I like it there. Brighton don't necessarily need it to happen, but they do want it to happen as well because the player has just got his heart set on Chelsea. He doesn't want to go anywhere else. But it's interesting to hear that Chelsea have made a bid in the 65 million and it has been rejected, rather unsurprisingly. But there is thought now that Chelsea, as the time ticks down, you know, of course, we're flying out to USA today. I do want to do a reaction video to the squad, so that will probably come out later for the 3rd video of the day. A lot of content coming at you, but if you guys enjoy it, I'll keep making it, of course. Yeah, the closer Chelsea get to, you know, playing Wrexham, playing other, you know, starting to prepare for Liverpool, they will absolutely want their first choice central defensive midfielder in Moises Caicedo in the team and ready to play for Mauricio Pochettino's Chelsea. Ready for Liverpool. Right, still work to do, ladies and gentlemen, in the transfer window. And of course, let's start. We'll talk about Aubameyang in a second, but kind of the forgotten man in Ethan Ampadu. Leeds wanna buy him, baby. Phil Hay writes on The Athletic. Leeds are close to signing Chelsea defender Ampadu. These clubs are currently in talk over a potential permanent deal for the now 22-year-old centre-back who can also play in defensive midfield. Heck, under Maurizio Sarri, he played in all the midfield roles. He played in centre-back. He actually played as a right-back briefly for Sarri, which was incredible. Ampadu has had 4 loan spells from Chelsea since joining the club from Exeter in 2017. This is, you know, even though this will look like a failed move, loan, you know, out all over the gaff, I actually think he won't look back negatively on this move to Chelsea because he came from Exeter. He's had great opportunities in Italy and stuff, and ultimately he's a Wales international, an important player for them, so he won't look negatively on his career, and he's 22, so he's got like another decade plus of his footballing career. He just started really, really young. He spent the last season at London at Spezia, making 31 Serie A appearances for the relegated side. And he didn't get relegated with Sheffield United, of course, yeah. Also Venezia with the beautiful kits, and Leipzig, which in theory sounded like a wicked loan early doors, going to play for Julian Nagelsmann's Leipzig, who plays young players. It was a high-profile Champions League team. But he had one great game, and that was in the Champions League against Tottenham, no less, and he played really well. But it's that classic kind of loan of, well, he's not our player, we don't need to spend time developing him, and we're glad he put in a performance for us, but he's gonna ride the bench. And this is one of the big reasons why Chelsea want a multi-club model, why Blue Co, Chelsea owners bought Strasbourg in Ligue 1, so they can send their players there knowing that they're gonna have an inclination to play them. Like, that's gonna be part of the deal. We're your daddies, we own you, and you're gonna get this player, but you have to develop him and play him. It's part of the deal, baby girl. So the Wales international has made 12 senior appearances for Chelsea. Jesus, only 12. That's wild to me. He could now leave Stamford Bridge on a permanent basis. Of course, Leeds have been managed by Daniel Farke now, trying to get them back into the Premier League. All right. Brilliant. Well, you know, he's a really great player. He can like play again. We said earlier in today's video, this morning's video, that we're kind of done with the versatile players that are really useful. We now just need specialists in every position to build a team that can ultimately challenge. And he's not going to start as a centre back. You could argue, had he just played CDM his whole Chelsea career in loans, he might have a shout at this point had he developed better at partnering Enzo, maybe, or being like a backup. Many people still believe in that, but the truth is, you know, get some money from, it'll be a few million quid, it won't be much. It might even be that, like, it'll be very, very low, but it will be another person off the books, another person off the squad list, and a step in the right direction. Speaking of someone off the books with incredibly high wages, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Simon Johnson writes, Chelsea and Marseille are in talks over a potential move for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Of course, we've kind of referenced this before. The 34-year-old is interested in the project at Marseille, but the deal is being complicated by the cost. Chelsea want a transfer fee. Now that, off the bat, shocks me. I thought we were just going to rip up his contract to alleviate ourselves of his really high wages. Because over 160k a week, which is actually less than I thought it would be. But then again, over can mean anything. I thought it was going to be 200 or over. But still, it's significant, 160. That is like, you know, nearly double what Mudryk is on. And, you know, you can imagine Nicholas Jackson and Barrio on a lot less. Do you know what I mean? So a compromise will have to be agreed for it to progress. Otherwise, Marseille will struggle to afford the striker. Yeah, because they're going to have to pay some serious wages, aren't they? Aubameyang is still under contract at Chelsea for one more year. We got him from Barca. He wanted to go back to Barca. There's been links to Saudi. I think he just doesn't want to go to Saudi. He wants to play in Europe, which is fair enough, you know. And he's not going around upsetting everyone like Romelu Lukaku is. He's training really hard, and he'll do what Chelsea tell him to do. So, you know, shout out to him. To be honest, for all this like history of Aubameyang supposed to be a troublemaker, he's been great for us in terms of professionalism. Maybe he's been a poor performer, but he hasn't kicked up a fuss like for not playing, which he hasn't. Do you know what I mean? He's been pretty good for all that. Of course, we will try and sell him after the likes of Kante was released, Kovacic, Koulibaly, Mendy, Havertz, Mount, Pulisic, Azpilicueta, Ruben, Loftus-Cheek, and then obviously Ampadu. Others have been released. The exodus is profound. So Lukaku, the aforementioned, we're trying to flog. Maybe to Juve, though the Juventus fans are protesting against his potential arrival, which may complicate things. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe they just won't care. And of course, Fulham have had a bid rejected from Chelsea for Callum Hudson-Odoi, but they are expected to come back with another bid for Hudson-Odoi, and I guess Chelsea are expected to accept it. Fulham would be a good move for Callum because it gets to remain in Fulham. You know, when you're a young player, it's often easier not to go far away. They're an exciting side. They've got a nice little stadium now, especially since the renovations, the Cottage. And good manager as well, of course, in Marco Silva, who wants to play attacking football. He will utilise Callum's strengths, and it probably is a preferred move for him. I would put the farm on Callum Hudson-Odoi ending up at Fulham at this point. Of course, there's other teams that like him, Everton, West Ham, Nottingham Forest really applied a lot of pressure to sign him, and indeed Maurizio Sarri's Lazio out in City, his former manager, of course, where he had his breakout season at Chelsea. But yeah, it's a bit spooky going abroad as a young player, isn't it? You know, shout out Ruben, Tomori, Tammy, and Pulisic, who's still relatively young, but then again, Pulisic came to Germany as a very, very young American boy. All right. I wanted to update you guys with that stuff. Please do let me know what you think of the 65 million bid for Caicedo, the exits of Aubameyang, Hudson-Odoi, Ethan Ampadu. The problem with no one wanting Romelu Lukaku. How is that going to work out? I want you to tell me. So please do, down in the comment section below. Thank you for liking and subscribing. If you choose to subscribe, turn the bell on because I am uploading all the ruddy time. Often, YouTube doesn't actually inform you subscribers that you've uploaded, which is like a bug. You know, it's no good that. So Maybe just check the channel, because odds are I've uploaded. Always never leave my channel. Just always stay on your phone or your computer. Refresh. Oh, you choked on my own nonsense there. Anyway, I'm going to end the video now, so keep it locked. See you soon. Peace.